Thank you, everyone, for joining me today with Gabi Garrett. She is a respected journalist, the founder and CEO of Gabi Garrett Media, and she's here today to talk to us about the secrets of writing and publishing your next best-selling book. Gabi will be talking to us about the pros and the cons of self-publishing, and importantly, how to package, promote, and publish your book to earn the coveted position as a bestseller. And I'm Linda Fisk. I'm the CEO of LeadHERship Global, and I am thrilled to welcome you to today's program. LeadHERship Global is the most impactful community of extraordinary women in the world. We unleash the full potential of high-performing and growth-oriented leaders in a confidential, supportive, and private community. LeadHERship Global helps members accelerate their success by defining their vision, growing their leadership, expanding their influence, and leaving a lasting legacy. If you're interested in learning more about this remarkable community of women leading across business, entertainment, and politics, then please reach out to me. It would be my pleasure to get to know all of you a little bit better. Now, today's conversation is going to be action-packed. As all of you know, becoming a best-selling author isn't as easy as simply writing a book. In fact, self-published books are springing up all over the place, and the competition for attention can be fierce. If you are an entrepreneur, having a book under your belt can boost your income exponentially. Books open up pipelines and partnerships, and they're yet another passive income source. But without the guidance of experts and impressive execution, you can actually wind up doing more harm than good. Remember, people do judge a book by its cover and its content, which influences sales and importantly, your reputation. So authoring a book reinforces your brand and your position as an expert in your field. It is yet another element of publicity and a piece of marketing collateral that you can leverage to gain followers, readers, clients. But keep in mind that in 2020 alone, more than 1 million self-published ISBN numbers were registered, meaning that you run the risk of fading into the statistics unless your book is truly a masterpiece. So that's where Gabi Garrett comes into play. And we are so glad you're here as Gabi helps you determine whether to self-publish or use a publisher and how to contract professional services. Gabi will help you learn all the pros and cons of self-publishing versus using a publishing house and how to package, promote, and publish your book to earn the coveted position as a bestseller. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Gabi. Not only is she one of my all-time favorite people, but she is also a respected journalist, an intuitive leader, and the owner of one of the world's most unique media agencies. Her work has been published hundreds of times and is popular on websites like Entrepreneur and Tidy Buddha. In fact, her piece on business management was ranked, get this, number 5 in all of 2020 on entrepreneur.com. Her blend of business and metaphysical knowledge has benefited her clients for years, and she loves bringing her ability to manifest messages to new audiences. She, as she told me before we even started today's discussion, she's most excited about her next project, which is yours, and the ability to unlock your creativity and allow you to inspire hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands with your work. Gabi Garrett Media is truly a full-service publishing and ghostwriting firm. They package, promote, and publish incredible leaders by focusing on their special story, what makes them unique, and who they want to help and how. So please help me welcome Gabi Garrett.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much, Linda. I'm honored that you invited me to do this and that we were able to create this wonderful container for growth today. So I'm so excited, and everything Linda said is absolutely true. There is a true business to books. But before we get into the business of books, I want to get into the heart of books, because out of 1 million people, which ones do you guys think succeed? It's the ones who truly care about the message, because nothing can stop you when you care about the message. You know, if you write something just to write something, just to make money, just to do that, everyone can feel that. So what we're going to do is get into our heart and really think through, just like maybe you did when you started your business, who can this message help? And I will stop at nothing to make sure that that message helps that person, because you do too. So let's get in alignment with that. So if everyone's open to it, we're going to do a small little visualization, which will help kind of clear your mind of cobwebs of what you think you're supposed to do, or what the other people in your industry are doing, or what your competitors are doing, or what you saw someone do last year, or what the books in Barnes & Noble are doing. We're going to get rid of all of that noise and figure out where you belong. How does that sound? Okay, fabulous. Oh, thank you. Okay. So if you'd like to close your eyes, put your feet on the ground, and let's roll your shoulders back. I want you to take a breath in through your nose. This might be the first webinar where you've ever done this, but I promise it'll make it the best. And breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth. I want you to take a moment just to notice how you feel right now, whether you feel excited, enlivened, irritated, stressed, unpresent. None of it's wrong. Just decide, how do you feel right now in this moment? And then I want you just to imagine all the people you've talked to so far today. And if you can, just let them flash across your face and allow your energy to come back from those people. And I want you to just say, calling all my energy back here, I'm here. Everything that needs you will wait for the next 45 minutes or so. Now I want you to take yourself about 7 months into the future, and you're holding your book. It came on the doorstep, and there's a box of 100 of them, and you are opening it up, and you are giggling with joy, and you grab your cell phone to take pictures. And I want you just to think through, who's the first person you send the photo to? And as you post it, maybe on your Instagram stories or LinkedIn, what are people saying back to you? What are they so excited about? And then you walk back into your house because you're on the doorstep, Instagramming, LinkedIning, texting people, and you just sit down in your living room, and just for a moment, you close your eyes and you just thank you. Thank you for giving me the courage to write this book, to share this book, to be the person to write this book. And then you look down, and I want you to see the cover. What do you see? Are you on the front cover? And what title do you see? How does the book look? And as you turn around to the back, you see your author photo, and you're looking beautiful and happy in the description of the book. Notice anything specific that comes out there. And then I want you to slowly come back with that excitement and that finished product in your hand, coming back here to this moment where you realized what you wanted to say and where you made it possible. You can take another breath in and out. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I see some smiles. So if anyone's open to coming off mute and sharing if they saw something cool or something they maybe hadn't seen before, I'd love to hear from you. Anybody want to share?
I imagined my book was yellow. Don't know why.
Yellow. Okay, that's creativity and joy. So that's interesting. Anybody else? Okay, you can put it in the chat if you'd like. All right, fabulous. Okay, so living on the nightstand of your customers is a privilege. So I want everyone to say this out loud, and you can say it on mute or not. I love that. I love that. You can come back to that visualization anytime, just like remembering that it's done and it's in the future and we're just walking towards it. It's a done deal. So I want everyone to say this phrase after me. It's a repeat after me phrase. This is not about me. This is not about me. This is not about me. It's not about you. This is not about you, okay? I love all of you already. I love your messages. I'm obsessed with messages. It's such a joy to do what I do. I am honored every single day Oh, I love these comments, but this is not about you and it's not about me. It is about our people that we can reach. And if you don't share the message that you've gained through your unique life experiences, the people you're meant to touch will continue to suffer. If you don't share what you're meant to share through your unique life experiences, the people you're meant to touch will continue to suffer. So every day you let the fear voice or the judge or the detail or the fear of money stop you from doing this, your people continue to suffer. So this is not about us. So you can write that on your mirror. Your business isn't about you. Your services aren't about you. And this book is not about you. It's about the people we have the joy to help. The side effect of that is you, right? It's more, more income, more possibilities, more ability to help. And the more money we make, the more money we can give back to people, the more women we empower, the more we can contribute to our communities. That's about you. But this message and putting it out there and birthing it is not about you. Just like you probably don't have a kid to have a friend to hang out with, right? You bring a kid to the world because it's about them, okay? We're birthing something into the world and we don't get to be selfish here. So all of that aside, 87% of Americans want to write books. 87%. Does anybody know how many actually do, despite the large number of ISBN numbers? Yes, 3% on average in America, 1% worldwide. So out of 87%, 3% actually go through with it in America, 1% goes through with it worldwide. So this is your chance to be in the top 1%. Are you with me? I don't know how many of us will get there financially, but we can certainly get there educationally and through our books. So I want everybody to go through about a 4-step process with me, and then we'll go through whether your message can wait for traditional publishing or if you need to self-publish it. Does that sound good? But if you already have your book and you already have it in your mind, I just want you to go through this process anyway. Yay, good job, Deborah. But you might have a second book in mind and you might want to write this stuff down anyway so that it gets through your brain. So number 1, I want you to tell me the idea of your book in the chat, or you can write it down. The idea of the book, whether it's in formulation, the second book, or a current book, what is the concept around it? No buts, no excuses. Okay, thank you, Kenya. We'll give you guys about 2 minutes. So let's see. Never too late to start a business. Okay. Poetry book, helping people develop a unique brand, getting women who had cancer take back control of their career. That's a great niche. Children's book about hope, journey with cancer. These are great messages. Building confidence in skincare, a man who fakes his death. All right, I love fiction. I read romance at night. I can't read nonfiction and write nonfiction all day. A guy who gets in a relationship with an obsessed girl, it really gets in the psychology of the obsession. Cool. Sales management, simple, stupid. Success is not about achieving something, it's about developing a mindset and not fearing failure. Creative entrepreneurship, the business behind the arts. Love it. Mixed race brother and sister duo. Oh, I love this. We have so many different kinds of books. So when you write your idea, I want you to notice, love that. We have a lot of things about covering illness. Coloring book, yay. I'm going to make a pop-up affirmation book in the next year, like a pop-up book for grownups. What they don't tell you about asylum seekers. So I want you to notice when you tell your book idea, whether you wrote it down or you put it in the chat, does it light you up? Or does it feel like something you have to do? Does it feel like a burden? Because though this is not about you, there are millions of messages. And if you've read Big Magic, there are probably 25 other people, if not 25,000, that are going to do the same thing as you. So don't wear a martyred cross. You don't have to do anything. But whatever you pick, I'd like it to be something that you really, really love and light you up because I need you to actually write it. Okay, so if you're picking something because you have to, then it's not the right book. Now, have to can feel good. It can feel like every cell in my body is not going to let me sit down until I write this book. I have to get it out there. That feels good. Have to, like, if I don't write this book on sales, people will suffer, is not a good look. Love that. All the things your parents taught me. So can you give me a little reaction of a party if your idea lights you up? Now, if your idea is currently making you feel heavy, can you give me this? Got a party guy. Party. Love it. Okay. All right. So if you've checked off, yes, this idea lights me up. Great. Now I need you to, okay, Laura, it's making you feel heavy. Good to know. I want you to back end it in mind. So there's two things you want to cross-reference before you write a book. Does this idea light me up? Am I going to want to stay up past my bedtime to write it? Because if I don't, who's going to want to read it? And then you want to think back end in mind. So does this idea correlate to the current business offerings I have, or can I make business offerings that do so that I can make money past the book? So the book is like sending an invitation out. The next thing is like a course or a speaking career or consulting. Do they match? Now, I run a consulting firm in the media. So I was about to write a book called Manifest Like an MF, which is cute, but I literally have no offering to go with it, so it would confuse the marketplace. So we decided I would write a book called Manifest Your Message, and that way I can blend the two, but not confuse my marketplace. So if yours totally doesn't match, it might be a good idea to start with a different book at first. Yes, you want to make sure that the idea lights you up and it matches your business. You can also look at your current offerings and ask yourself, is there a simple ebook I could write based on this? So if you do consulting and you find your clients ask you the same questions again and again and again, can you answer those questions in an ebook format and sell that on Amazon? Because that will create new leads for you naturally. Why women really aren't closing the gap. Love it. Okay, fabulous. So it needs to light you up and it needs to match your back end. Does everybody understand that so far? Is anybody stuck? If so, I can help. Good? Everybody looks pretty clear. You guys are smart. Okay, great. All right, now actual timeline, self versus traditional publishing. So I want everyone to tell me when you want this book to come into the world, whether it's 3 weeks from now, 8 months from now, 12 months from now, New Year's. When is your launch? 6 months ago? Did it go out or? Okay, did it go out? Come on, give me a real one. 6 months from now. Not written. Okay. All right, Emma, I can help you. Okay, thank you. 2 months from now, is your book almost done? Okay.
Yes and no.
Okay, but you want it to be done by then.
I want it to be done, but I keep writing it and then discarding it and starting from the beginning again. That's my problem.
Is it because you feel like you learn more, or is it because you feel like there's like a judge voice stopping you?
A bit of both.
Okay, we'll go through that. So another thing you can do, I once started writing a book called The Creative's Cubicle Escape. And I was like, this is going to be so cool. Everyone's going to love it. And then I realized I was shooting myself in the foot, because if I ever want a corporate job, they'd be like, what about this book you wrote, this scathing thing in corporations about how much you hated us? And I'd be like, oh, cool. Sorry, I was 25. And so anyway, what I did with that book is I used all the content for blog content on LinkedIn and other articles. So I didn't waste the time. I just wasn't in alignment with it anymore. So if you guys have books that you started and maybe you didn't finish, you can still use that content for social media posts, for blog posts. And as you're writing your book, you can do the same thing. So you're kind of testing the market. But for in particular, if you've written a book and you're like not real sure about it, the best thing to do is give it to someone who isn't obsessed with you and ask them for their opinion. We as women probably have lots of really encouraging friends that are gonna be like, this is the best thing ever. And then we have some maybe people in our network that are just big fans. We want to give it to someone who's very partial. So not your boyfriend, not your best friend from college, not your mom, not your mom. We need a partisan business professional to give us their opinion. So actual timeline, you want to back up how many chapters are going to be in this book. So with traditional publishing, you have to have a certain number, and we'll go into that in a minute. But based on everyone's timelines here, besides August 22, you would have to self-publish to reach this. Because when you traditional publish, you have to find an agent who likes your work. That agent has to pitch pitch a publishing house. Pitch a publishing house. And that publisher has to love it too. And then that publisher has to go through a whole framework of what they're going to do with your book, how they're going to promote you, and if they're going to publish it. So from the moment you get an agent to the moment that real book is in your hands is on average 2.5 years. If your message can wait that long, we can kind of dive deeper into that, but it does not sound like a lot of people's messages want to wait that long. And there is not really that much glamour in it anymore. What can happen is you choose to self-publish and you prove your ability to sell, and then a publisher can buy it from you with a little bit of rewriting. That is the best way to go. Or it's your first book, you self-publish, you prove that you can sell books, and your second book, you can wait a little longer. Does that make sense? Self-publishing is completely free, with the exception that if you choose to hire a ghostwriter, a cover designer, or an uploader, which on average costs less than $25,000. But Amazon itself, should you just write something and have the cover designed, is completely free. Okay, so actual timeline is, if you want to tell me in the chat, you are just using a traditional publisher, deem itself worth it. For self-employed business people, no, because you can order bulk books when you speak or present and make thousands of dollars because you can control the price point. So on average, when you sell a book on Amazon, you'll make about $4 to $5 per book, sometimes up to $9. And then when you order bulk books, it might cost $5, but you can sell them for $25 or $20 because most people don't have a 20 and a 5 because literally no one carries cash or use a Square reader. But then you're going somewhere, you're getting cash on hand, you're helping people, and you're giving them something that will want them to get back in your business versus a business card because they kind of have a little piece of you. But with a traditional publisher, you're going to make about $2 per book, and they're going to control the messaging, putting it out there, etc. I think traditional publishing is fabulous if you're going to go into a Gabi-centered model, for an example. Like if I become a speaker and a podcaster, then yes. That would make sense for me. But if I'm going to use it as a tool in my business and I'm going to keep speaking and be active and looking for clients, then I would self-publish. So the main question you want to ask yourself with that is, can it wait? Because a publisher is going to want to know, like, how many people on your Instagram audience, how many people on your LinkedIn audience, can you sell this book for me? Because it's a risk for them, right? Just like an investor wants to know that you can make money year over year, quarter over quarter, a publisher wants to know that you're going to sell this book. And it doesn't free you up from marketing expenses. You still have to pay your own marketing. Most people think, oh, I'm going to do this, make $1 million. They're going to pay for everything. No, they're like, it's like hiring a partner, but giving away most of your profit. Okay, fabulous. So actual traditional versus self. So actually writing and timing. So I want you guys, can self-publishing protect from plagiarism? You can copyright it. You want to copyright the inside of it. As far as somebody taking your book and writing, as you have never experienced that, I have had people make fake Instagram profiles of me, which is weird because I have like 1,500 followers and not famous. But you want to have a copyright protection on the inside of the book. Okay, so I want you guys to get out a piece of paper and I want you to write the title of your book.
And Gabby, there's a couple questions that as people are writing down their title, maybe you can respond to. One is from Emma, and she says, is the copyright protection just a sentence, or do you need to do something to enact copyright protection? And then Karen said, once you write it, is it copyright protected?
Erica, my Amazon/marketing director, is on here. So Erica, would you like to speak to that? Because she's the one that manages that for me.
Sure. So yes, the moment it's written, the moment that you're on Microsoft Word or Google Docs and you write one word, it's copywritten from that date. So it's very important you keep up with your electronic documents. And even if you're doing it the old fashioned way where you have an actual journal, I'm not a lawyer, but I do have lawyer friends, and I actually have a lawyer that I had a copyright with as well. So the moment that you write one word or even the title of your book, that's the moment it's copywritten from. So when you do go to register it, you can do it a few different ways. You can use LegalZoom or other company like that where it's a do-it-yourself where it's very affordable. Or if you do go to a lawyer and get it copywritten, they're going to go back to the date that you either thought of the idea, wrote it down on a napkin, or wrote it down on a piece of paper. And then that's when your copyright's valid from that date up into 75 years after you pass away. Literally, your work's copywritten that long. So, and then trademarking is a whole nother topic, but that copyrights your work. And then you have it. If you do see someone plagiarizing, you can send them a cease and desist letter. You and your legal team can send them those documents, and it protects you. The trademark's different. So if you have a course that goes along with the book, or you have a coaching program that goes along with the book, or it's after your business name, that's a separate conversation. It's more costly, but that protects even more things. So just want to let you all know that. Thanks, Gabi.
Thank you. We have about 15 people on my team. So there is a large group of skill sets that are not all mine. So though my name is on the door, I can't do it without my team. So thank you, Erica. My name's on my door, which means the clients get to yell at me and tell me thank you. Depending on the day, they rarely yell at me. Okay. So on this piece of paper or note or whatever, we're going to conclude with a very clear thing, because I'm a very conceptual creative and I want your brain to settle down into a very distinctive plan. And then we're going to go through questions and answers, and I'll also share with you what we have going on and how you can work with us, and then how you can get more involved with LeadHERship Global through Linda as well if you're not actively a member. So the title of your book, please write that at the top. Okay, and then your launch date, write that below. And then below your launch date, please write the number of chapters. There is no minimum. I like 7 as like a low number for a small book, 120 pages. I like 14 for like 200-page books. There is no magic number, just the number of chapters. And then I want you to write down how long will it take you to write each chapter, and how often can you write? So if I have 11 chapters in Manifest Your Message and I want to launch September 2021, Erica's listening, so now I'm going to have to do it. Then I want to have 11 chapters in Manifest Your Message, because that's an angel number and it's kind of like a manifesting thing. And I can write twice a week for an hour a week for each chapter, which means like the draft and then the revision. Then I need 11 weeks to do it. So then I need to back that up to have 60 days to launch. So I actually need to start writing it like next month. So that way I have time to write it, edit it, and launch it, because you want to begin launching the book 60 days before and then the 60 days after. So you want to kind of make a formula there. So give yourself space and grace. So if your launch date is crunching up against writing that, push it out a little bit. And if you, I put this email address up here a little bit earlier, but I'm going to put it here again. If you want to email us those answers, we will give you a yes or no. Like, yes, that's going to work, or no way. Okay, fabulous. And then the last thing I want you to write is support I need. Actually, you have 2 more questions. The support you need to make this happen. So do you need your husband to make dinner on Wednesdays? Do you need your girlfriends to call you every Thursday? Do you need a wine subscription? What do you need? And nothing's too small, right? So you're the creative. I want you to imagine you're the queen of this castle. What do you need to actually make this happen? Which isn't a question we ask ourselves a lot.
And then one more question for you, Gabi. Emma's asking, is there a good or bad time to publish over the course of a year? And we have another question about what do you need to do to market and to help promote your book?
Yes, absolutely. I will show you guys one of the things that I am offering you guys in particular in just a minute, which even if you hire us or don't hire us, it shows you what we do to do a virtual press tour, which is what you need to do to market it, which is podcasts, articles, messaging, website. The number one thing you need is a landing page, right? Somewhere where someone can see the book and decide if it's for them.
And then what about good or bad times to publish over the course of a year?
I think the worst time to publish is February, because people are like, in December, it's okay because everyone's buying Christmas gifts. In January, everyone's deciding to change their life. And in February, they're like, oh, gross, I don't want to do anything else. I am going to move for just a second because I need to plug my computer in. We're having too much fun. So you guys are going with me into my office. Okay, so you've written out the support you need. And now I want you to lastly write the person whom this is going to help the most. So if you have an avatar or you know that your audience will be supported the most, you're going to write that there. Okay, so fabulous. So once you type that up, make it somewhere pretty, back it up and actually put those times on your calendar. That's the next step. If you don't put the time on your calendar, it's like, oh, what a nice thought. Before I go into the ways that our team supports people, Linda, is there something in particular that I might have mentioned to you that I haven't covered yet?
Just a little bit about if anyone has any questions about the pros or cons of self-publishing versus using a publishing house. If you have any questions about the timeline that Gabi just went over in terms of preparing to write your book. And then we did receive a couple questions about, again, making sure your content is protected, and then also questions about how to really market and promote your book, especially given the fact that, you know, everyone's coming out with a book every 10 minutes. How do you really make yours distinctive and stand out from the fact that literally almost every single person I know has written a book? So how do you make it really sort of unique and different?
Well, that's because you're in the 1%, Linda. All your friends are very smart. So in our business, we do virtual press tours. So the first thing we do is make sure that you have a landing page that clearly talks to your ideal customer avatar, where people can purchase your book and see the rest of your offerings as well. So the landing page is a great place to do pre-orders, email addresses, and actual purchases. The next thing that we do is come up with your unique marketplace. So what makes you different than those 80 other people who wrote about cancer or surviving or children's books, right? And then we create a unique pitch. And this is great in our business since I'm a journalist. So we're able to use those connections to get you in different magazines and publications. And then we pitch 150 podcasts so that you can speak about it. And then we kind of cadence those out over 60 days before the book and 60 days after the book. So we take your message on tour. So the key thing to differentiate yourself is that heart. What is the message? Where did you come from that makes you the person to write this book? And how is it different? And why is it different? So the virtual press tours, I will put this here in case anybody thinks that's something they might be interested in. They are what I wanted to offer the LeadHERship Global Network for coming on here today. So we have 3 spots this month. If you choose to purchase and you're not one of the first 3 people who choose to invest in this, we do have continuous spots. We do about 4 per month because we really do detailed custom work. It's a 60-day process. It's just under $8,000. And if you email us, we can make that into payment plans. No problem there. But what I'm going to offer you is something I've never done before. So you get all of my trainings from the past 2 years, which is called Business in a Box. It's about a $2,000 value. We sell it for $99, which is a good bonus. People really like it. But what I decided that would be really special for you guys, because you're such a great group, is instead of 60 days of support, we're going to give you 90. So after we finish the pitching and everything, we'll still be here to help you support how, now that I'm in this publication, like what can I do to put it and make it special for my audience? So you're going to get 90 full days of support.
All right, that's lovely. Let's open it up to questions. Let's have an open dialogue. So please feel free to take yourself off mute and let us know if you want to dive in more deeply about any aspect of writing a book, doing the illustrations, doing the cover design, promoting it, marketing it, actually writing it, protecting it, any aspect of that. Gabi is the expert. She's done this for literally hundreds of authors. So we would love to answer any questions you have. Okay, so Laura said 90 days for how much?
Yes.
It's $7,997 US.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And then Esther said, what would your advice be on collaborating with other self-published authors?
I like to have them on a YouTube show. So I have a little YouTube show. If you go to Gabi Garrett on YouTube, you can see that. It's just 25 minutes. Obviously, you've met me, and I just ran through my house to get a charger, so you know it's informal. But they're 25-minute chats with each other. So I like doing that because I'll share it to my audience, which exposes them to people they may not have reached, and they'll share it to their audience. And then we'll send it through my newsletter. We'll do clips on Instagram, which is Erica's expertise. So we'll offer them. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Teresa. So we'll offer that, platform to them, and then they might have me on their platform. So wherever you have the most people, invite that author there. So if you have a big Instagram following, suggest an Instagram live with that person.
I'm actually getting published on April 16th. And on April 16th, we're having a huge book launch party on everything from Clubhouse to Instagram to all the social media. We're doing a ton of calls. We're doing a ton of interaction. And that whole day is dedicated to the book launch. That's the kind of activity that I think a really successful and fun book launch includes, at least in my experience. But Gabi, can you talk a little bit about some of the book launches you've been a part of and some that have been most sort of exciting and really ramped up sales really quickly?
Yes, I would actually say, though this wasn't my client, maybe one day, Marie Forleo did such a good job with Everything is Figure Outable. If you were to take a case study example, hers would be mine, because she started talking about the book while she was writing it. So everybody was like, ooh, what is that? And when can I have it? And then she did a free 3-day course for pre-orders, which is very important. Pre-orders help with your bestseller status. And then when the book came out, she sent it to influencers to take pictures with. There was tons of things that she did. But I think when you're thinking of the heart of the message, right, you want to ask yourself, what else would make this a no-brainer? Because a book is a low-cost purchase, right? $12 to $19. So if you can give someone a course for $12 to $19, oh my goodness. So it's like making it so great that you're so excited to offer it. It's such high value activity that they're going to love it. I think that's what makes the launch really special.
That's lovely. Does anyone else have any questions? You're welcome to just come off mute and ask any questions you have of Gabi directly.
I've got one. It's probably going to seem like a bit of a daft question, but I've read some books in the past that just appear to be a person's opinion put down in text and published. I don't want people to pick up my book and go, what on earth is she talking about? It's just her opinion. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but how about referencing and things like that? Any standard practice for things like that?
What is the book about?
I've just closed my screen. It's about an individual's needs and helping people understand their needs.
Well, I think that's a little bit ironic, right? Because it's an individual need, so it's needs your individual need approach, right? So I would say you can cite other people in your particular book instance. You could use case studies of like how Erica found her unique needs in work. and then how you found your unique niche at home. I think that would solve the problem without needing a lot of citations.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Esther says, is it good to pre-order on Amazon, or would it be better? Oh gosh, it just moved.
I think I see it. Is it good to pre-order on Amazon, or would it be best to get customers to purchase your book on your own website?
Yeah, there you go.
So if you get them to purchase on your own website, you actually have to manually go purchase them through Amazon unless you're going to ship them yourself. So you would want to include that in the cost. Does that make sense? So if I pre-ordered 50 Ways to Magic on my website, I'd have to charge $25 and then go in and order all of them on Amazon manually. So if you don't want to do that work, I would stick to Amazon, because then you'd have to ship the author cost to your house and then ship it to all of those people. If you like doing that, then rock on with your bad self.
Gabi, what factors should one take into account in pricing your book?
To price your book, you want to think about how much you want to make. Also, what's the average income of your audience and what's best for them. So with 50 Ways to Magic, it is a colored book. It's a color book. So it's color on both sides and it's color on the inside. So it's $26. We make about $6 every time someone purchases it. And that was kind of, my audience likes to spend a lot of money. So anything less than that, they kind of are freaked out by me. So I'd say on average, you want to look in your marketplace, who are you going to be competing with and what are their books? So you can make it $1 less than them. That might be good.
All right. And Bianca asks, Gabi, can I ask how to find an illustrator to partner with? She's writing a children's book and she doesn't have a publisher and she's looking for an illustrator.
Linda, you illustrated your children's book.
I did. I illustrated my own children's book, but there are a lot of illustrators that are out there that do it full-time and professionally too.
Yeah, absolutely. You can look through like different networks of other entrepreneurs. You can also contact your local newspaper cartoonist. That's what I did. Look, we got a network here of people looking for that for you.
Well, if I ever decide to give up the LeadHERship global gig, maybe I'll become a full-time illustrator. But right now I'm pretty happy where I am. And we also received a question about the book that I'm a part of that's coming out on April 16th. And in fact, it's not fully written by me. I am just one chapter and it's called Significant Women. And I was invited to be a part of the book, to be profiled and to write a chapter in this book. So it's not a full book. It's just, I wrote a chapter about grit and grace and how I feel like those are two important elements of leadership and have certainly made the difference for me. So it's about grit and grace. My chapter is, but I was invited to be a part of the book and it's called Significant Women and something like the qualities that differentiate leaders of impact. All right. Any other questions?
I saw a question over and over again about the poetry. I would say copyright it first. And then if you think that's going to blow up, like I said, if you have something that goes along with it, like a course or something that's going to be the same name or a podcast of the same name, then you want to trademark the name of the book. But just a poetry book by itself, definitely copyright it.
Yes, Sarah.
And then Nicola said, what are some of the writers and titles of books that you, Gabi, have marketed that have been bestsellers?
Conversations with Covey is a recent bestseller. Brian Covey did a chapter per person on his podcast, and then we wrote those, and we had a really successful launch with that. So he's a bestseller on Amazon. So Conversations with Covey, I'll put that there. That's my favorite recent one. Don't tell my other clients. And then there's also one called Inhale Abundance, Exhale Bullshit. So those are two really great examples, one from a female voice and one from a male voice that my team finished in two different platforms, very business, very spiritual. We have 44 books coming out in the next 60 days, though. So, yeah.
Holy cow, 44.
I know. We wrote all of the big part of quarantine, we were writing. So we are about to be all over Amazon. But I will tell you, working with my agency, I didn't mention this. So we ghostwrite books. It's a $21,000 package. It includes everything except for your readers. So it includes a personalized account manager, all of that, all of the details, all of the editing, all the cover design, all the upload. And it does not include the launch process, but you get a discount on that since you're already in here. But if you are interested in that and you've already written some of your book, we can customize it for you, of course. But all that to say, most ghostwriters will take ownership on the inside. We don't. We care enough about your message to not let anyone know that we exist.
All right. And Catherine Hodgson, who I am just so thrilled is here with us. She's asked a question. What about putting QR codes in the book linked to podcasts or videos?
I say no, just because of the flightiness of trends. We don't want that QR code to be extinct should someone pass it on in the future.
All right. And Catherine also said, how do you begin writing? Is it just sitting down and just writing, or should I then write the whole book and then get an editor, or write a few chapters and then get input on those initial first chapters?
What do you do when you write like a blog post, Catherine? What's your flow there?
Hi there. Gabby, if I'm writing a blog post, I suppose I just write it. And I just sit with it for a week or two, go back, self-edit, get a couple people to read it, and then put it out.
Exactly. Do the same thing. Treat each chapter like a blog post, because when we say book, we immediately go like, oh, I'm so scared, a book. But a book is just several blog posts. So I would do the same thing.
And then, Gabby, what about taking some of my blog posts and putting it in the book? Is that considered sort of, it's already out there? So then why would you put it in a book, or would you recommend you could do that?
Yes, you can absolutely do that. In fact, you could go to your blog and package your entire blog as a book.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, I would love to answer this one as we're wrapping up. Thank you, Catherine. The top 3 tips to make sure we don't get imposter syndrome. So this is my favorite thing about it. I rarely actually talk about writing. I talk about the big picture and I talk about the fear, but when it comes to actual writing, it's so unique to the writer that it's hard to teach, So I do have a process called Write Without Writing, which I can find and give to you in the replay for this, because I think it's helpful. So imposter syndrome. I want you guys to write Laura, I want you guys to write the most scathing, evil 1-star review of yourself. This person is such a joke. She couldn't even charge her laptop. She's an imposter. She's a loser. This is the worst book I've ever read. I wish Gabby would go back to her cubicle. She doesn't know anything. I want you to write every fear voice you have in this 1-star review. And then I want you to tear it up, because that's the worst that could happen to you, right? Yes, Laura, burn it. And then I want you to write 5-star reviews to yourself from the people you're meant to help, because guess what? That 1-star review isn't your ideal customer, and you were never writing it for them. So they were in the wrong place, not you. I once did an organization video. I wanted to be an organization coach when I first became an entrepreneur, like whatever that is. So I once made an organization video, and this man commented, it was free. And he commented, very low value in all caps, would not recommend to friends. And I never made a video again for like 6 weeks. So the 1-star review can really stop you if you don't get ahead of it.
And then Deborah said, do you recommend offering it as an ebook too?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Oh my gosh, Carolina says, I've seen this girl drunk. Why would she? Yep, totally. I mean, if you haven't gotten drunk, we all are human, okay? We're all scared, okay? Because writing a book claims that you're an expert in your field, which is terrifying to your imposter syndrome. Just like writing an article claims you're the expert. So what happens then is all the fear comes up. So an exercise you can do is imagine yourself on the largest platform possible. Like I'm gonna imagine I'm walking onto Oprah right now, and then just write down all the fears that come up, and then you know what you need to work on, right?
That's great. Guys, there are so many more questions that we could ask Gabi and several in the chat. I know all of you have been given the opportunity to unmute and ask your questions directly. But the good news is if you don't feel like you've been able to get your specific question answered, Gabi is available. So she has very generously offered some really special deals for LeadHERship Global members. And she has made herself available to the members of LeadHERship Global. So first, I want to take a moment and thank Gabi for her generosity, for her expertise, for her experience, and sharing all of that so generously with us today. Gabi, as you can see, is an incredibly respected journalist. And as the CEO and founder of Gabi Garrett Media, she knows everything there is to know about the pros and cons of self-publishing versus using a publishing house, and then how to package, promote, and publish your book. If you have other questions for Gabi, please feel free to reach out to her. She has been incredibly generous with her time with us this morning, but also very willing and open to having individual conversations with all of you following today's conversation. And as I said, I'm Linda Fisk, the CEO of LeadHERship Global, and I am so excited that all of you have joined today's program. I hope you found it impactful. I hope you found it really valuable. And what I would like to invite you to do is to get to know LeadHERship Global. If you're interested in connecting with one of the most impactful communities of extraordinary women around the world, then definitely reach out. I'd love to introduce you to our confidential, supportive, and private community of high-performing and growth-oriented women who are leading in business, in politics, and in entertainment. So if you're interested in accelerating your success by defining your vision, growing your leadership, expanding your influence, and leaving a legacy, then please reach out to me. It would be my absolute pleasure to be able to meet each one of you and talk to you a little bit about how we can accelerate your success. However you define success, we want to support that. We want to lift you up, and we want to connect you with the people and the resources that can help you accelerate your definition of success.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you guys for this beautiful platform. Linda, if someone's not in LeadHERship Global and they'd like to be, do you have a link that they can schedule a call or an email?
Absolutely. So if you would like to take down my email, it's linda@leadhershipglobal.com. It's that easy. Just shoot me an email. We'll arrange a time that's convenient for you, and we'll move forward there. And Laura, thank you so much for the shout out for both Gabi and I. I'm so grateful for that. And Gabi, thank you for adding my email into the chat. If you'd like to get in touch, you're welcome to. And Sherry, thank you for being so gracious. Really appreciate the kind comments. But really, this is the Gabi Show, and she has provided so much incredible insight today. I'm just super grateful to her, and thank all of you so much for your time today. Thank you for spending the last hour with us. I really do hope it was impactful and helpful. And as I said, if your question specifically didn't get answered, Gabi's available to speak to any of you. And as I said, she had an incredible offer. Gabi, you may want to repeat what that offer is so everyone knows how to get in contact with you as well.
Sure. So first off, I love to take your money and help do messages. I love money. I love supporting people. Send it all my way. But more importantly than that, please just email Linda afterwards and support@gabigarrett.com with your takeaways and your maps so we can continue to support you. So the main offering I have, you're welcome to go to anything on my website and ask me questions, ask me, is this right for me? Ask me if I can do payment plans, because your message is what matters most to me. Like I said, I love money as well. But the offer is, it's typically a 60-day virtual podcast tour, press tour, article written about me. It's all broken down in that link. But just for you guys, and LeadHERship Global will give you an additional 30 days of support. So you're going to get the 60-day package, but then for 30 days after that, you're not going to be dropped. We never drop anybody. But as you're acclimating to the new role and the new success and maybe the new leads coming in, you'll continue to have all 15 team members support. So this is really valuable because we're going to be putting you out there. We're really different than a publicity agency. Since I am a journalist, we can cut the line and make sure your message gets in there and make sure it's well written. So within 60 days, we guarantee a certain number of certain number of articles, certain number of that kind of thing. It's all written out there. But then for 30 days after, when you have the logos, we'll be there to support you, like how to put them on your website, how to make sure you're launching things correctly. We're truly a full business consulting agency. This is one of my favorite things to do. So please go to my website, read my blog, enjoy the YouTube, any of the free resources, email us at support. But these specific programs that we're offering, happy to customize them for you guys and really would love to support your messages.
Great. And Jillian and a few others that were a little delayed joining us. Jillian and others, if you have any questions about what happened at the beginning of the program, please know this is recorded. And I am happy to share with you the links so you can see the full discussion and all of Gabi's brilliance. So thank you guys so much. And I really hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and a lovely spring week. So take good care and we will speak soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.